So they'll be calling you a radical. Who would believed it? This game Thursday night will probably cement last place. The battle for the basement. Weber State basketball. I mean, it's pitiful. And to think they have a... And everybody can argue with me just like they did Dylan fucking Jones. But I really believe Blaise Threatt's going to end up in the NBA. I really do. I got to tell this story. So... And you know, everybody in here, including the sports writers, which, well, they ain't sports writers, whatever they are, all the mucks, coach, even coaches, whatever, argument about Dylan Jones being a first rounder. Oh, he's an NBA. How about Lillard yesterday in the All-Star? Well, they gave the All-Star to the local. No, the local's Damian Lillard. He's from Oakland. But anyway, the Wattis curse. So here, this coach, I mean, God, listen to his press conferences. Oh, my God, I can't fucking stand it. Look, everybody says, well, developmental? Yeah, it is developmental. And that's unarguable. The Randy Ray tree, since it's been here, this is 20 years this guy's been here. So, and you can't argue with that as a fact. The developmental, this is what it's turned into here. It's a boot camp for the next level. These players all know that. I mean, we have 2 NBA first rounders, and we don't win. We never win. We got an NBA fucking player on the fucking court, and I wouldn't believe it a year ago. So, Blaise Threatt, you think he's got the pedigree? By the way, I was at the Summer League, and Scottie Pippen Jr. was playing against Dylan Jones, and Dylan Jones he's the best player in the Summer League, but he plays for the Thunder, so he's on the bench. Don't fix what ain't broke. He might get a ring this year, but Scottie Pippen Jr. was outstanding. You know, a lot of these ex-NBA players have children. I mean, you seen Rodman's daughter. Of course, you don't like Rodman. You seen her play soccer? Woo! You know, it ain't the Jordan boys. Whoa, those two. Good Lord, what's happened to them? Talk about, that's a whole... So, Blaise Threatt is Sedell Threatt's son. Now, right here, you know, the people that know, because I'm so accurate and I'm on this, you know, the people that matter, it's not how many watch, it's who's watching this. I know who's watching. And so, he comes up to me, sees me on the bus coming from the university or to the hospital. I was going to get some treatment that day. The GX drops you off, which I don't understand. Why are they advertising that downtown? Free bus ride, drops off at the arena? They don't know how to market around here. So, there's this young basketball player, and he says, hey. He comes up to me, starts a conversation with me, and I says, oh, you're playing here now, you know, and I said, now, which player are you? You know, because this is in the summer, or, you know, when their practice just getting rolling. And he says, I'm Blaise Threatt. I says, you're Sedell Threatt's son, huh? Yeah. And I'm like, how the hell did you end up here? You know, think this path. And it's real easy on recruiting here. Jerry Carty, right to my face. Jerry Carty was recruited all over. Why'd you come here? Damian Lillard, my favorite player. You think Damian Lillard's a recruiting tool here? How about this? You ever been in the Purple House? You ever walked in this thing? Ask Damian Lillard why he come in. Damian Lillard did an interview many years later and said, were you young and naive to think that you could end up as an NBA first rounder playing at a place like Weber State? And he says, I was that naive. But it happened. But it happened again. And it's going to keep happening. Because, you ever been to South Ogden, Utah? You ever been on the campus of Weber State University? You ever been in that Purple Palace? Oh, it's grand here. Fucking, the campus is so beautiful, it's unbelievable. They love it here. They come here and they're like, they walk into that arena and like, I got to tell you this story. So, there's a young guy, I sit on the front row, and a lot of the old greats, the fan base here is pitiful anymore. The old, beautiful, smart, sophisticated fans, they died or left. The ones now, they're excuse makers. Oh, they just ain't got players. This one idiot thinks he's a fan here was telling me, well, you know, they lost Tomley and they lost Dyson Kohler. I says, yes, so? They were losing with both of them on the floor. This guy would fucking lose with Michael Jordan. But they do get him ready for the next level. So this fan, he comes, sits next to him, and he says, oh, my God, this arena blows my mind. And he says, so what I'm doing, I'm a young guy and inherited a bunch of money. He says, I decided I was going to travel around the country and go to as many basketball venues as I could go to. You know, I've been going to them all over the country. And he says, I decided to take on the Big Sky. This is my first stop. And he's like, holy shit. First thing he says to me, I'd imagine you have no problem recruiting. He says, this place is incredible. How old? I says, 1977. No. Then another game this season, I'm talking to a couple, and they, hey. They hit me up, and they says, we're arguing. They're from Oakland, and they're like from the Bay Area. And they're like, we're trying to figure out how old this is. And I says, first game, it opened in 1977. Aqualug, my friend. Started construction in 70. No. It's like, yeah, it's immaculate. You think they, I mean, the old Utah construction G Money that built this, the D family. Oh, fuck. The same people that built the hospital that built this. I mean, it's like somebody says, oh, we need to get advertising on the floor. And I says, go tell the D family that. Go talk to their heirs. Tell them that. I don't think so. I remember when people were calling it Super D and they came out with a statement. I says, if you need any money, just go ask them. They'll give you whatever they need, which they always do. The entire university, they only left $1 billion endowment here in 1975. You know, they'll give you whatever you ask. And so, it's their baby. And so, I would have never believed it. I watched it with Dylan. I started saying you could see the writing on the wall with him. But the thing with Blaise is he came here, and I'm like, and he's all that. I mean, he reminds me so much of Dylan in so many ways. He reminds me of his dad a lot. So, when he first got here, he says, hey, we're having a scrimmage. We're going to have referees and everything in here. He says, you should come. And I says, well, I'm not going to just go crash in with coaches. And he says, no, I'm inviting you. I says, okay. So I'll come. He asked me to. And so I made sure, because I used to go to Randy Ray practices all the time, but Randy would invite me. I knew Randy really well. Me and Randy Ray were really close. We were really good friends. And by the way, I couldn't stand his Toshi style. I call it slugging rats. Couldn't say, but as a person, I loved him. He was one of my favorite people of all time. I mean, he gave a shit about me when I had cancer. And so he was, I mean, who would ever, I mean, he was John Wooden compared to this dude. You know, so anyway, I'm like, well, I'm not going to crash it. So I went to the front over there and walked in. I says, I seen Eric, the coach. And I says, Eric, okay if I come to practice? Yeah, go ahead. So I walk in there, you know, Dutch is there, of course, Belknap, you know, the Godfather. And this young assistant comes up and gets in my face. I mean, not nicely either. Just got in my face. And I'm like, whoa, motherfucker, back the fuck off. Don't you dare talk to like me, fucking punk. I go in. I said, you ever talk to me like that again? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I says, I have permission to be here. By who? I says, you're going to find, I mean, he's lucky I'm the kinder and gentler Blanch. And, oh, he's damn lucky. I still don't like the punk. And I says, the coach, go ask him. Okay, I will. Then fucking go. He's lucky. He's damn lucky because even at my age, I still don't like the punk. And so, he's a punk. Talk to an old guy like that, fucking get my face like that, come up, what disrespectful motherfucker. And so, anyway, Blaise invites me. So I watched the practice and I'm like, I liked him. And I remember telling Kev, I says, no, I love this fucking team. This is last year with Dylan Jones. I says, this team is so fucking loaded. And by the way, anybody that says last year, I honestly believe last year had the most talent of any team in the history of this school. They were that fucking good. Remember the win down there in California? Was it against St. Mary's? I mean, I thought they were going to run the table, you know, and they found a way to fuck it up. But anyway, Dylan Jones had the legendary, historic fucking season, NBA first rounder, just like I said. So, anyway, last year, Blaise is getting better and better. But it was this summer when I realized he's another Damian Lillard. He's another Dylan Jones. And by the way, he has a huge IQ. These are, all three of the set are extremely, extremely intelligent people. Really high IQ intelligent. Not just about, I mean, just smart, intelligent, dynamic people. Big time. So I'm at the Stewart Library doing some work, and I see him, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? He said, gotta study. And I started to watch, you know, and see him around campus, whatever, and I started to realize, this guy's all in. I was here one morning, on a Sunday morning, early, doing a fucking video, and I look over, and there he is running right there. Early, and I'm like,
Oh, he's fucking all in, just like Lillard was. Just like Dylan Jones was so all in, it was unbelievable, especially between his junior and senior year. Dollar signs, oh yeah. Lillard was always all in. I mean, I never met a fucking dude like him intense. I started to see this was Blaise. Now, how did Blaise get here? So I talked to Blaise. I says, on that very first when I first met him, we had quite the conversation. I says, well, how'd you end up here? And he says, well, I played high school basketball in Scottsdale, of course. I grew up there, and he was a good player, but he got hurt. He says, I got hurt, and he says, I was so sick of basketball, and he says, I was just depressed, and I was out of it, and he says, I gained a whole bunch of fucking weight, and I just threw it. Nobody recruited me because of my injury, whatever, and he says, I was done. I wasn't going to play. I was depressed. I was just, and he says, it was a friend. He says, a friend that I knew from high school says, well, why don't you come over here to the community college, Mesa, Community College. No. And he says, I didn't want to. And he says, but he talked me into it. And I went over there, and he says, I fucking loved it. This is the best thing I ever had. And he played in that community college. I loved it. He changed it. He really worked to get himself back in shape. It was a long journey back. So he hit the transfer portal. Fuck, everybody and anybody wanted him. I mean, he's Sedell Threatt's son. They knew how well he had played over at Mesa. He's got the pedigree. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He got it all. And so, why did you choose Weber State? Well, because they know how to develop players and put them into the next league. You think? How about a guy named... You think Damian Lillard's a recruiting tool here? I mean, Damian Lillard's a god here. And I mean a god. Rightfully so. He stayed always connected here. So, Dylan, what a fucking player. I would have never believed this, but I watched him this summer. He's just all in. I'm like, and I remember telling Kev, I says, no, you could see his focus. He's exactly like Lillard was. He's exactly like fucking Dylan was their fucking junior and senior years. I can't say that about very many players. Jerry Carding was that way. Jerry Carding was such a raw, incredible fucking talent. I knew Jerry Carding was a fucking superstar the first day as I played as a freshman. He came in the game, the first game he was in, and he ran on the reverse on the fucking baseline, spun up in the air, was fucking this high off the fucking ground, changed hands, and I'm like, whoa, that's the fastest player I ever saw, the fucking thing. And I remember talking to Jerry right after that, the lefty. I says, you know who Nate Archibald was? Of course I do. I says, is that why you wear 10? Yep. I says, you play just like him. And, there's a fucking Hall of Famer. And I says, and he ended up being the greatest player in the history of this fucking school, Jerry Carr. What he does in Europe, oh, fuck. I mean, he's the best player on the fucking continent. He's the leading scorer every game. I mean, fuck, I watch his games over there. Fucking talk about a happy life fucking fan base. So I saw, Sieglin was fucking a great fucking all-in talent. Joe Ballin, boy. Scotty Bamforth. I mean, the talent we get, we will always get talent here. Coaching, I can't stand it. But developmental, these coaches take credit for it. Is it them or are they just getting this incredible talent? I don't know, but they sure do have superstars all over. I mean, that's unarguable. And Eric says that, I can't argue with him on that. Because it's proof is in the pudding. This guy is unbelievable what he's doing this year. And I wouldn't have believed it a year ago. There's no way. And everybody arguing that he ain't no NBA talent. The fuck he ain't. You want any bets right now? And nobody paid me up, by the way. Nobody paid me up. And my go-to bet was a stake in the timber mine. Fucking, I bet hundreds, not one single person, because the fan base here sucks anymore. We've lost our beautiful, old, sophisticated, the old wealthy, the Utah construction multi-millionaire fucking sophisticated put their suit on and come to the game with their beautiful fucking wife. That's fucking eroded. Well, the town's eroded. But I would pay fucking 3 times the price of admission. I sit on the front row. That's the best fucking price in town. Season ticket on the front fucking row for $350 fucking for the year. And a guy bought it for me. He says, Kevin, I love your vlog. I love it there. He says, I'll buy you because I used to do the play-by-play and they got rid of me on the radio. I'm a little too hot to fucking handle. He says, no, I love listening to you, whatever. You got to keep it up. I'll buy you a season ticket. And so he did last year and this year, And I've been here since the day it fucking opened. I've missed very few home games. The only time I really missed was Lillard's senior year. I missed a lot of those because I was in the bone marrow transplant, sucked up, dying of cancer. But I could listen to the great fucking, back then it was Archie, who's back here now. We love Archie, but he's not as good as Steve. But nobody's as good as Steve. Steve Clockey was tragically killed this year. We should be wearing a patch on our uniform, football and basketball. He's the greatest broadcaster, I think. Well, the two greatest in the history of the fucking state. Of course, Hot Rod Hundley and Steve Clockey. Steve Clockey was fucking awesome. I was really close with him. I still can't believe it happened. But so we talked. I mean, it's an amazing fucking story, and I could tell. And I remember telling Kev, I said, "No, this guy's fucking what he's doing. He's been like this." And this is what great players do their senior year. Before they hit the NBA draft, they go like this. You seen his fucking numbers? He's unstoppable. Dylan had the exact same move. That high fucking dribble and that fucking change fucking speeds, and he could blow by anybody. Just like Dylan was. Dylan would fight you at the fucking rim. And one Dylan. Look, I used to call him Adrian Dantley fucking Magic. And I still say if he'd been with the Wizards, he might be working. And by the way, I want to say this to one of these idiot fans was talking shit about Nembhard. I'm like, fuck, you don't know what you're talking about. Ruben Nembhard's son, we tried to recruit him here. He's in the NBA. He's playing for the fucking Wizards. I think he's on their G League team. Fuck, what a player. We always get players here at the Purple Palace. So, but who would believe, have they ever ended up in last place? No. I don't think so. Even with Farmer, I don't think they did. Even with Houston, I don't think they did. But, Cravens had the undefeated team on the Abagan team, then had a couple. But the Randy Ray teams were always in the fight. Always, always, always. But like Randy Ray used to call it, slugging rats. Randy Ray wanted to win every game 64 to 63. Every fucking game. It fucking drove me insane. Cut him loose. Cut him. I used to scream at him, cut fucking Jerry Carding loose. You can look it up. I fucking talked to Jerry Carding before that Montana when he brought. Jerry, you need to just do your thing. Go crazy. And he did. He had 25 the first. And look it up. And that was before the game. I posted it on YouTube. And so, Blaise Threatt will play in the NBA. And you want to take any fucking bets? You want to take any bets? I've watched him. Wow. And there is so much talent in the Big Sky this year. Money was money up at Montana. He's something else. And then, of course, you got McLaughlin, fucking Northern Arizona. But that McLaughlin, that team's not very good, so they quadruple team him. And how about the lefty at fucking Idaho State? Oh, my God, is he fucking good. But none of them are Blaise Threatt. Blaise Threatt's the best fucking player in this conference. Blaise Threatt's fucking unbelievable, and I know. Play back the tape, Your Honor. I'm the first guy that identified fucking Rashid Shaheed as being an NFL superstar. Play back the tape. I'm the first guy that started talking Dylan fucking Jones. Well, besides Ralph Freeze, the old man who's 96, who I sit right by. He called me one day. He says, "Kevin, you know Dylan?" "Yeah." This is when he's a fucking sophomore. "Call him over here for me," the old man. He's the first one that started talking about Damian Lillard. Well, everybody was talking about Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard was NBA fucking caliber type player in high school. Everybody knew it because of his, he played the Nike League and everything. But he says, "Call Dylan over." Ralph Freeze. "Hey, Dylan, come here. I want to introduce you to Ralph. He's the guy, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you, young man, he's 96 now. Let me tell you, I think you're better than Damian Lillard was at this fucking stage right now. And if this is when he's a sophomore, you keep going, you're going to be a superstar. And you're going to be a first rounder in the NBA." And I'm like, what? I didn't believe it then until the next year. Then I'm like, Ralph, you were right the whole time. But Blaise, I wouldn't have believed it a year ago. But I started to see it happen. I started to see it happen this summer. He's unfucking stoppable. Unstoppable. His fucking, and he rebounds, he gets assists, he gets steals. He's a scoring machine. And the problem is just like Dylan here. I don't know what it is with this team because they have shooters, but they get to games, they can't shoot. He'll drive, they'll quadruple team, and he'll kick. Doink, doink, doink. That's the way it was with fucking Lillard. And I don't know what, well, I do know what it is. I have my opinion. This fucking weed they run, I can't stand it. But anyway, the best player in the conference on the worst team. And it isn't like they don't have players. Oh, they have fucking players. They always have fucking players. It's about, look, winning basketball games, especially at this level or at any level, has never been about fucking players. It's about coaches. Ask fucking Jimmy Valvano when we cut down the fucking nets there in '83. You think that was the most talent? Not even close. Not even close. They won the national championship. There's been plenty of fucking runs like that. Plenty. Plenty. It's about coaches. Game time. You think Ronald Baglin always had the most fucking talent here? Oh, fuck no. That 95 team could be the best team in the history of the fucking school. 68, 69, 95, 99. You think he had the best talent? That 95 team is the best fucking team, I think, in the history of the school, my class. You know? You think that was the most talented fucking team? Not even fucking close. I mean, they had Jimmy Graff, and he was a great fucking outstanding player. And, you know, Ruben Nemhart, but they weren't the most fucking talented, not even close. They just drilled people. Beat the shit out of it, including they had Iverson fucking beat and lost on the fluke. So, any bets? I'm telling you. Blaise Threatt's head of the NBA. I'm telling you. Mark my words. My words. I watched it, and if you don't think I can evaluate talent fucking here, right at the gate, you haven't been paying attention to this fucking videos. This published. Go ask Rashid. I'm the first guy that I was all over Rashid Shaheed from fucking day one, and I knew it. You know, and he's getting his 5.3. I think he'll stay with the new coach in the Saints. What's the last year of his whole 2-year? He's still in the practice squad, but he's got Rosenbaum now as his agent. He's getting $5.3 million buyout this year. Rumor is he's going to get traded to the Broncos and get his $200 million. So, best player on worst team. How is that possible with the players they have?
You seen this team down the stretch? They start off slow every game like clockwork. Then they play good. And they'll come at them, and they'll get down to the last 3-4 minutes, and they fold up like a vanilla envelope every single fucking game. Every game. It's not conditioning. It's fucking not players. And it's nothing, you know, I like Eric as a person, but I mean, I think he was a good assistant coach. Well, I know Smiley was good. And, you know, but head coaches are about game time. You know, they do all the other dirty work. The assistants, they show up in their fucking suit on game. Fuck, I used to fucking work with a Baglin. I was with the Baglin. Fuck me watching game film. He wasn't no fucking practice freak. He let his assistants do the fight, and he had great assistants. But game time, coach, game time, fucking decisions, he was the master. Just like Neil McCarthy was. Just like, well, he got outcoached in the Lamar game. That fucking giant upsetting his, home game in the NCAA tournament. Why? Arnie Farron. Fuck, bring back the fucking NCAA tournament to this building. I saw Jason Kidd's last fucking game here. They got outcoached. You think that cheesehead team that fucking beat Jason Kidd had more talent than? Not even close. They beat him. Coaches. You know, head coaches are game time fucking decisions as the game. You know, it's like speed chess. You know, so any bets? And nobody paid me up. Even people all over the internet on Dylan Jones the first round. There was plenty of people all over. I was doing all the videos. No one paid up. Fan base here is pitiful anymore. I mean, there's a few old fucking good school ones. I mean, Dutch is still here. Ralph is still here. There's a few of them that have been here the whole time that know their shit, but this making excuses all the fucking time. Fuck. It's pitiful. Fucking best player on the worst team. How's that possible? Stay tuned.